Good evening, Gemini men. Welcome back to Will's Cartomancy Tarot. Gentlemen, what I'd like to go on and do for you guys this evening is to go on and give you a romantic, specific reading of the predominant energy of the woman, or in fact women, that might be coming towards you the entire year, time and time again. Gentlemen, I'm going to be using my Lenormand's deck, and I've already shuffled as we see here. I'm also, gentlemen, going to have decided to add a few additional cards to give you a few bit more parting advice. And gentlemen, if this reading resonates with you, go on and give it a big thumbs up. Gentlemen, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please take a few moments to do so now. So let's go on and get started, gentlemen. I'm going to go on and just examine the cards that we see here and just make a few general observations about the woman, or perhaps the women that I kind of see coming towards you. Gentlemen, she seems to be a very emotionally unstable type woman. She seems very scattered, a bit confused, at least at this time. I'm also feeling that she's ambitious. She's self-centered. She's a high achiever. And for some of you guys, it looks like she's somewhat tall, I'm feeling, okay? She looks like she could even potentially, for some of you, be a single mother. She looks immature somewhat, and I'm also seeing a woman that's kind of petite as well, and quite capricious, okay? She looks very curvy, protective, very strong, gentlemen, controlling. I'm also seeing an elderly woman, gentlemen. She seems to be very mature and experienced. But with these women, I'm kind of seeing that they appear to be in a bit of a crisis, or in crises in some sense, or distressed, or lonely, or even hurt. And could it be potentially something that you may have done to her? Okay. Gentlemen, let's go on and get started. And I'm going to go on and examine a card that fell to the bottom of the deck here. And we have this coffin card. And gentlemen, this card is all about changes and usually speaks of negative events. Okay. Its ruler is Pluto, and it draws our attention to fire signs, Sag, Aries, and or Leos, as well as the earth signs, gentlemen, Capricorn, Virgo, and or Taurus. Okay? So, gentlemen, this card says that you might see your lover, and usually, gentlemen, with this card is usually an ex or someone from your past that's going to be returning, as perhaps even being a bit dead to you in some way. Okay? You might also be thinking about a relationship that potentially didn't go well, okay? And with this card, gentlemen, this says that she appears to be a bit somewhat negative in her approach, or she's depressed in some way. She might even, with this card, work at a funeral home, gentlemen, or she might even be an undertaker, a coroner. But again, gentlemen, usually someone from your past, okay? She might even be a bit sick with this card, gentlemen. And some of you might also even be contemplating perhaps a deceased lover too as well, when you see that card, gentlemen. Okay? We know, gentlemen, that this next card here, the woman, it represents her, so we don't need to clarify that. So let's go on to your next card here, which is the clouds, okay? So, gentlemen, this card is all about problems and confusion. Its rulers are Neptune and Mercury, and also, it kind of draws our attention to air type signs, Gemini as yourself, Libra, and or Aquarius. So, gentlemen, this says that this woman is very unstable, She has a bad attitude, and even men, she might even also suffer from a mental type disorder, bipolar or ADD in some sense with this card. But she seems to also, gentlemen, be living a double life in some sense, okay? I'm also seeing, gentlemen, dark or gray in hair, brown, blue, or even hazel eyes with this card, okay? Gentlemen, she appears to be very moody and confused about life, and she could potentially even be a widower with this card, or be involved in research or various theories, or as a theorist or something of that nature, okay? The next card we're going to examine here, gentlemen, is this Tower card. So, gentlemen, this card is all about things that are of an official nature. And the ruler of this card is Saturn, and draws our attention to earth signs, the Cappies, the Taurus and or Virgos, as well as the air signs, as I already mentioned, Gemini, Libra, and or Aquarius. So it also suggests that, when you see this card, gentlemen, one really kind of needs to be aware of really what's going on with this card. And since this card surrounds, gentlemen, both the man in a sense, as well as, you know, the woman card, there might be another woman in the picture in some capacity, you know, or another man I'm kind of feeling that might be in the picture that, you know, she's kind of contemplating. That's what I meant. Okay. So with this card, gentlemen, this woman appears very educated. She's arrogant at times and kind of overbearing, you know. She might even work with the government or governmental agency or the IRS department or tax office, or even potentially she might even work at a university or prison, gentlemen, a hospital, a courthouse, you know, a bank, even, gentlemen, with this card, an airport, or she might even be a lawyer, judge, or an executive of some sort, okay? Your next card here, gentlemen, is that child card, and that card is all about immaturity, capriciousness, and innocence, gentlemen. So its ruler is the moon, and it draws our attention to air signs or air type signs. Yeah, Pisces. I'm sorry, not Pisces, but Aquarius, Libra, and or Gemini. And so this says, gentlemen, that she has a hard time trusting in the process of what a sustainable relationship tends to require. You know, she appears to be young looking, short, you know, even with this card, petite, and a bit naive about life and its pitfalls. So as you can see, gentlemen, I've kind of described several women that seems to be lurking throughout your reading, okay? You also have this letter card there, gentlemen. That card is all about communication and information of all sorts. And gentlemen, it can be via Facebook, email, internet, texting, or even, in fact, talking on the phone or any other social forum, okay? And the ruler of this card, gentlemen, is Mercury, and it also calls our attention back to the air signs, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. So this card says that this woman might be even a licensed professional, gentlemen, or even a college graduate. Okay, it also says that she's quite very communicative in her approach, and this might well be, gentlemen, a long distance or an internet type relationship that you have with her, you know, because I'm feeling that she's quite also delicate build, and she might even work, gentlemen, for some of you with this card, in advertising, or she might be an editor, or she might even be a writer, someone who perhaps may be interested in writing children's stories, some kind of film. Okay, we also have this bear card, gentlemen, and that card, you know, as you see there, is all about power, strength, and cash windfalls. Okay, and the ruler of this card is Jupiter, and it connects us back to Earth type signs, Capes, Virgo, and or Taurus. And this card says that, you know, she's overprotected, controlling, and quite possibly, gentlemen, even a bit athletic with this card. You know, she might tries to build her body in some sense, or she could even possibly have a weight issue. Okay, I'm kind of feeling that for some of you, she could even be a financial consultant, and she's very caring when you see that card. You know, and again, she could be a director. But I'm kind of getting, you know, impressions more so, too, that for some of you, she could potentially once again be an older woman, okay? And when you have this Lily card that kind of strengthens that, you know, the older portion of the reading, you know, because this card is all about peace and satisfaction, and the ruler of this card is, in fact, Saturn, and draws our attention once again back to Earth signs, okay? Capricorns, Taurus, and Virgos. So therefore, this card definitely says that she is certainly a bit older than you. You know, she appears very wise, successful, and established. She has virtuous intent, I'm feeling, with this card, and she's very protective, and possibly, gentlemen, for some of you, she could even be a social worker, even a veteran, or even a retired person, again, a virtuous type woman, okay? And you also have this cross card there also, gentlemen. And that card is all about hardship and worries. And, gentlemen, it's all about, you know, difficulties that tends to kind of crop up. So the rulers of this card are, in fact, Pluto and Neptune. And it draws our attention to fire type signs. Once again, the Leos, the Aries, and or the Sagittarius. So, gentlemen, this says that this woman certainly is experiencing some hardships and thinks negatively, at least at this time. Perhaps maybe always complaining. You know, she's a sad person who looks like she feels guilty about something, you know, or appears very needy. You know, and with this card, gentlemen, she might even be a bit sick, okay? And what I'm kind of getting or picking up with this card, gentlemen, is that she might even appear, she might even for some of you be a bit slender, bitter, and very reserved. And she might even work within a church organization, or she might even also be an examiner, gentlemen, of some sort. So, gentlemen, now after having examined your Lenormand card, I'm going to go on and just look at a few additional cards that I thought would be helpful in terms of parting or giving you a few additional advice here. So I decided to pull a card from Doreen's Virtues deck, Healing with the Fairies. And the card that I pulled up was Happily Ever After, gentlemen. So, gentlemen, that card is kind of telling me that despite what you might be thinking, at least now, it shows that you're going to have a very happy outcome. And a happy outcome is really assured for you, at least by the end of this year, as you move forward. So this card is asking you to try to release any anxieties that you kind of have and feel secure that, that everything is kind of working its way out in the way that it really needs to be working out, okay? And gentlemen, I also decided to go on and draw a card from Colette's Baron Reed's deck, The Enchanted Map. And gentlemen, the card that I selected was Metamorphosis. So it shows that, that in fact, perhaps letting go of the grief or the pain that you may have experienced or sustained in this relationship, it seems to be troubling to you, and it might be a hard process, and especially, when you have kind of programmed yourself to think in a certain way that this is always going to be this way. This card assures you that it's not, and is asking you to kind of transform yourself, and know that, what you want is going to really come to pass for you guys, okay? The next card I decided to select, guys, was pretty much once again, from Doreen's Virtues deck, the Magical Unicorns. And gentlemen, the card selected was, in fact, Listen to Your True Feelings. So that's not really hard to understand, gentlemen. So it's kind of telling you, listen to your own intuition and try not to let anyone talk you into doing anything that you may not feel is kind of safe for you or is, fruitful for you to do, okay? And gentlemen, last but not least, I decided to also select another card from Doreen's Virtues, but this time, the Romance Angels deck. And the card that comes up is Honeymoon. So it's saying that perhaps maybe, you and your lover maybe might need to get together and just spend some enjoyable time and quality time and just air your fears with one another to kind of resolve whatever difficulties that you may have had in the past. So, gentlemen, this is what I have for you. I certainly hope that this reading has offered food for thought for you, gentlemen. Once again, gentlemen, if this reading has resonated, go on and give it a big thumbs up. If you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please take a few moments to do so now. And gentlemen, I'm presently offering a promotion which will expire this Friday with $20 a question. And gentlemen, if you're interested, you can certainly contact me at WAT61073@gmail.com. Gentlemen, do enjoy your day. Thanks a lot. I'll certainly look forward to hearing your comments.